Eating a meal from Greedi Kitchen is like a warm hug from the inside.
I'm still chilling here with you, Latisha,
Yes,
the owner of Greedi Kitchen here in Brooklyn, right? So tell me about you. Tell me about this place, the name, the inception, all of that good jazz.
Well, Greedi is our home, and I call it home because it literally is the center of everything, community for me, and I want people to feel like vegan food or vegan lifestyle is approachable. And I think, especially for our community, it's definitely something that we've created to kind of force dialogue, to force us to pay attention to what we're consuming and how we're consuming it, and what are the health benefits behind what we're consuming. I started Greedi because I was a vegan who was frustrated. I lived here in Brooklyn my whole life. I was vegan as a child. My mom is Rasta, so I was raised vegan, which vegan lifestyle as a child versus vegan lifestyle as an adult, completely two different worlds in terms of just options and creativity. And so I was frustrated because I wasn't finding enough diversity in flavor and texture, in menu options, in the entire borough. And then I felt like I could only find vegan options in a specific neighborhood, in a specific community here in Brooklyn. And it just grew frustrating for me. And I was like, I don't understand why we don't have more options, why there aren't more options in every neighborhood, in every community, especially mine. Right. And so that's how Greedi was kind of born. It was really born out of frustration. I am not a formally trained chef. I come from a line of formally trained chefs, but I'm not myself formally trained. And I just took a lot of my roots from the South. You know, my grandmother would bake anything and everything from scratch, and I grew up watching her do that. All of my aunts were trained under my grandma in the kitchen, so just really reflecting on all those family traditions, and then veganizing them to where the main ingredient is always love, because grandma always puts love first in everything, right? And then just really doing the research in terms of health benefits and the combination of flavors when we created the menu to really offer something different that didn't, in my opinion, didn't exist in Brooklyn, as well as in these communities where we are, We're in Bed-Stuy. This specific neighborhood was very strategic because it has the highest number of hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease in all of Brooklyn. And so I knew that I wanted to be here, but I'm also surrounded by decades of Black home ownership. So there's an enormous sense of pride in this community as well as support in this community.
What has been the reception in this area with our people coming to Greedi?
Oh, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. I've had an elder challenge my name because she said historically Greedi is not a positive terminology. And that was education for me, because for me, when I came up with the name Greedi, it was about just consumption, right? Because there are a lot of misconceptions about how we eat. We eat grass, we eat vegetables, we eat like birds. But we enjoy food just as much as any carnivore. We just choose healthier options, right? And so I wanted the word Greedi to be encompassing all things that are good and healthy and well for our spirits, as well as our physical being. And so that's what Greedi meant to me. But when she educated me about what the term meant, I was like, oh, well, that's definitely not who we are. And we had a great dialogue where I was able to learn from an elder just about history, and that word, and then try to re-educate her on how we're changing or trying to change the definition.
I feel like a lot of people in our community and communities that are underserved are coming to the vegan world, right? In your experience here, do you see like a lot of young people kind of adopting this lifestyle, and what do you think that's kind of attributed to?
Well, I think, with all things, vegan is one of the things that's trending right now, right? And since it's trending, obviously I feel good about the trend because it's, making us healthier. So we do get we have a very diverse clientele. So I get a lot of young people who are all about, the Instagrammable moments, they live in this community, they never knew we were here, to, the elders who are referred to come here because of their health issues. They come here, they smell, they like the smells, then they get to the counter and they read the menu and they're like, wait a minute, this is not real chicken? This is not real fish? Oh, I can't do this. And they walk out.
They walk out, they don't even try.
They won't even try. Wow. But you know, with all things, if it's new, it can be a little daunting, right, at first. And you know, people have to be ready. And I always say that, like, I have conversations every day where people are like, oh, I'm going vegan. And I'm like, you need to really think about what that is and really think about the discipline that it's gonna take to actually transition your lifestyle, because it's not an overnight thing. I encourage people to take their time. You know, you don't have to become vegan overnight. It's okay. Yeah. You know, take your time and rebuild your relationship with food, understand ingredients, cook at home, play at home, so that you understand what your palate actually craves and the flavors that you actually like, so that you're not feeling like you're eating out. Because eating out every day is not good either, right? You need to cook at home. And you need to really understand how to prepare these vegetables, what's undercooking, what's overcooking, you know, how to season your food untraditionally, because a lot of the traditional things that we flavor food with isn't necessarily good for us, right?
Like, give me an example of something that...
Like salt.
Right.
We can just start with good old-fashioned salt, you know? I have people who come in and they're like, can I get salt and pepper, please? And I'm like, there's a lot of salt in that. It's actually sea salt, which is what we use to cook. You know, we fry with sunflower oil. You know, people don't understand that after they eat a couple of fried options, they still feel light. And they're like, why do I still feel okay? Like, I don't feel like I normally do when I consume fried foods. It's because we fry in sunflower oil.
So that kind of helps prevent the itis from coming out.
Exactly. It's not as heavy, it's not as dense. It's one of the healthier oils, especially when you're talking about deep frying. And so, you know, just really educating people and having these conversations that aren't your everyday conversation. And sometimes people come in, like I had a couple who actually, they come here frequently from New Jersey, and young couple, and she's suffering from arthritis. I think it's rheumatoid arthritis that she's suffering from. And we just had a whole conversation just about what she's doing, what the doctors are telling her, and then what I thought, you know, and what information could I share with her about her condition that could help her. And it really was about just sharing resources. Like, I have a customer who is an herbologist who has an amazing cleanse that I use, so I referred her to her, and she actually checked in last month and she's like, I feel so much better. I'm doing the cleanse and I feel completely different. You know, it's just about sharing resources.
You mentioned like a relationship to food. Can you kind of talk about that and how your body reacts with your relationship to food and what you consume?
Well, I will say sugar, for example. Like, we all love everything sweet and sugary, right? But your skin is the largest organ on your body is your skin.
Which, I gotta pause. Your skin is amazing.
Oh, thank you. You think so? I don't have anything on. Thank you. Yeah, like, so, and I love sugar too, but I know when I consume too much of it, I break out. My daughter, same thing. She breaks out. And she's lighter complected, and so she starts, you know, and she's a teenager, and you have peer pressure and the kids, and you know, and so I tell her all the time, if you want your skin to clear up, you just simply have to drink water, which is life, right? But then you also, you also have to make sure that you're watching your sugar intake, because too much of anything isn't good for us. And so your skin reacts with wrinkles, your skin reacts with pimples, irritation, blotchy, peeling, discoloration. All of those things happen just from that one consuming sugar. I think being a vegan, that's the challenge, right? Because you're eating healthy all day long, right? And so your body is going to crave the things that it's missing. And a lot of times when we're craving sugar, we're missing another element, right? Another mineral that our body is just not getting. And so instead of giving into the sugar, we need to really evaluate where we are on the spectrum and what it is that we're not getting. And I would challenge us to, instead of going for that sweet piece of cake, to go for the mineral, really fulfill that, and then see how you feel. You know, and I think treating yourself, no one wants to feel like they're on punishment.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got one life. So you know, you still gotta have some fun, indulge sometimes.
I'm telling you, I love a sweet. Like we sell vegan cakes, banana puddings, all kinds of things that are literally like finger licking delicious.
Yeah, well, I'm planning on licking some fingers because after we eat, I definitely want to try something. This is the walnut sliders, the sweet potato fries, and then the mac and cheese. And what'd you order?
So I have Fish and Festival.
Fish and Festival. Okay, so fish, and then tell me what are those right there?
So the fish is soy. The festival is a combination of yuca, which is a root vegetable.
Right.
And we combine that with cornmeal and flour and coconut. Nice. And then we top it with a hot honey or a ginger syrup that we make in-house. And then just a good old salad because I'm feeling like I need some greens in my life today.
That sounds amazing. Tell me about these walnut sliders.
So the walnut sliders is so funny because every 6 months my challenge to myself as a chef is to come up with new gluten-free, soy-free, or alkaline options.
Right now you out here like a rapper with mixtapes, dropping a new snack.
I'm trying every 6 months, every season. I think it's important. I think it's important for the evolution of who we are as a brand, but also just reflecting on feedback from my customers.
Yeah.
What they want from me, I want to be able to provide.
Right.
And so, you know, although we do have a lot of soy-free options currently on the menu, I'm always in search of trying to figure out something new. And so these burgers are made from actual walnuts.
Okay.
It took me about 8 months to develop the recipe. And it's all pure walnuts, and then we top it with steamed portobello mushrooms and bell peppers and arugula. So everything on it is alkaline, except for the bread. The bread is not alkaline, it's a pretzel bun, but we do have spelt bread, should you need it to be alkaline. We have a lot of people who adhere to the alkaline diet that we hear, and so I want them to have just as many options as people who aren't following the alkaline diet.
Forward to this right
I want to see what you think about the walnut.
definitely. Start off with this mac and cheese. That's good. That's creamy.
Now that one took a year to develop.
And what's on top of this?
So that are just chives and a little paprika.
What's the cheese made out of?
Potato starch.
Potato starch.
So we really try to not use a lot of nuts in anything, just due to allergies. Traditionally, vegan mac and cheese is made with cashew cheese. And I can do that, but I really wanted to try to find a way to do it where there were no nuts involved.
Right.
And it's gluten-free.
That's good. I like that.
Thank
You're here, Greedi Kitchen in Brooklyn, in New York. What's special about New York? What keeps you here?
Well, I'm born here, right? And I've actually been fortunate enough that this is actually my third business here in New York, successful business. And I would say there's nothing like New York. Like, it's almost like where you can take a stab at anything that you want to do and you'll get for real feedback. You'll be tested in multiple ways that either make you greater and better or take you back to the drawing board, but none of it's negative. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like this city offers a lot of endless possibilities and opportunities that I haven't really felt the energy anywhere else. I'll take that back. I felt it a little bit in South Africa. But
South Africa?
Johannesburg. I'm obsessed.
I was just there last year.
I'm obsessed with Johannesburg. Like, I'm crying about everything that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but like that is one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah, Joburg. Nice. Thank you, I appreciate you.
So this is our gin and green juice. But the gin is actually made from all plants. So there's no alcohol in that. And
that's delicious.
Right, and the green is a combination of cucumber and cucumber and celery and kale and spinach. So it's all good stuff.
That's refreshing. This is the gin and green juice, aka the Snook Dogg.
Yes, yes. Gotta pay homage.
That's good. I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, try that walnut burger. Let me know.
Going in.
Go in. Can you tell me you're eating walnuts?
I can't tell, but the flavors of this, amazing. That's good.
So that just recently was added to our menu, and it is quickly becoming a fan favorite.
Yeah, this with the pretzel bun, this is fire right here.
And I love it because it's all plants. There's no soy, there's no chemicals, everything is made from scratch. You know, and you're getting a ton of protein, which is always the challenge, right? When people want to challenge a vegan diet, it's like, well, where is your protein coming from? Because there's a myth that exists that we only can get protein from animals, meat, and that's not the case.
So what are some places people can get protein that's not meat?
Nuts, beans, grains like quinoa, you know, those are all very overlooked, underutilized things that I think literally can change the game in terms of protein.
Pros and cons of being vegan.
I think the pros is definitely how you look and feel, right? Because what you eat is literally who you are, right? It's your energy, your endurance, even dealing with everything that we just came out of this past year, right?
Right.
You know, how you view the world really has a lot to do with what you consume. And if you notice people that are depressed or, you know, have a negative outlook all the time, they're not vegan. And that's just a correlation that I found even this past year, like how people are analyzing things and, you know, analyzing the information that we're getting. You take it in differently when you're vegan versus not.
Right. Why do you think that is? Do you think that is like energy thing from what you're consuming?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, when you're eating plants and things that are God-made and things that are growing from the earth, right? Your energy and your vibration is just on a different level than consuming things that have been slaughtered, consuming things that have been under enormous stress, and then you're putting it in your body. You take on that stress, you take on that energy. So you can't vibrate higher because of what you've just consumed. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think also, you know, we eat a lot of brain food, right? We eat a lot of things that have huge impact on our brain strength, energy, and functionality, clarity. And so,
what are some of those foods that affect our brain?
like just green leafy vegetables, avocado, you know, all of those, the good fats, you know, the good minerals. Those are the things that impact how we think, how we analyze. And so when you're not eating those things, you can't see what's really going on. It's unfortunate, but it's real. Thank you. So the con, I would say, to being a vegan is you're not always gonna find food.
That's a fact. I was just shooting a commercial in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Let me tell you, your boy was hungry.
And that's where your discipline comes in.
Definitely.
Right? Veganism, it definitely has improved tremendously, I would say, over the past year since COVID. And people have really accepted the fact that eating healthier is the way to go. We talk about our environment, we talk about our carbon footprint, we talk about all these things that are wrong in the world that are directly related to the food chain. You know, when we start to kind of accept that and understand that, then we'll be in a much better place for it, and we'll feel better because we'll be healthier, and we won't be bogged down as a community with countless diseases and medications to kind of placate the disease.
Right. Amen. Well, I want you to eat.
Yes.
Here is to good
Yes.
health.
Good health.
Good vegan food.
Yes.
Definitely appreciate you sitting down with me.
Of course.
Good talk.